Toffee TV, it is the final word. Everton 2, Bournemouth 1. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, because I know loads of you haven't already, we're going for that 20,000. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the bell for notifications, and if you want more videos, you can join us on Patreon. Like Andrew, who's here today as a guest, who has joined us on Patreon, and has got a lovely little t-shirt out of it as well, although he's been waiting about 6 months for it. Yeah, Andrew's joining the show today. Nice to be talking about a Premier League win, isn't it? It's lovely to be talking about a Premier League win.
Been too long, mate.
It has.
August the 12th was the last, well, it wasn't, it was the 14th when we were talking about it, but yeah, it has. It felt like a long time, but 2 wins in 3 days.
You know.
Happy times at Everton.
Can't believe it. It's like the good old days, isn't it?
It's all back.
The good old days of last season. I mean, it does make such a difference though, winning a game of football, doesn't it? Just your whole mood is just like brightened by, there isn't that cloud.
Yeah, you just go out and you're like, yes. Just going out, everyone's got a smile on you.
Just there. You go out and when you lose, like, it's not as bad as it used to be for me, but then it's still like, it's there. Don't talk about it. Like, if anyone even mentions the fact that you've won a game of football or you've lost a game of football, sorry, you just know you're going to have to talk about it, and that's the last thing you want to do. Even though I make videos where I talk about football quite a lot, but then that's okay. But it's when you know that there's people talking to you who just want to get that rise out of you, and bastards. But we didn't have that this weekend. We could be happy. We could be happy, Baz.
Very happy, mate. It was, yeah. It was. It's such a lovely feeling to come out and just go, no one can. Forget everything else. Forget everything else. We've won, and it's good. And you haven't got. You know, when you're waiting to see that one person you don't want to see when you've lost. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's all. We've all got that one person we don't want to see, or the one text you don't want to get. So it was Umar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about Umar. Let's talk about the team. Obviously, I'd seen rumours earlier in the day about the team, Keane being in. And you know what? When I see rumours on Twitter now, I generally just believe them. Because I think, why would you make that up? Why would you make it up?
Well, rumours, certain rumours.
I just believe all rumours on Twitter. Yeah, it's a wonderful world to live in. If you believe all rumours on Twitter, right, your life just suddenly becomes mad. It's boss.
I'm off Twitter.
Wow. You're riding a unicorn. What are you on about?
That's how we got
it. Was a dragon, you dickhead. Again, it's another area of the world I live. No, but and I was thinking, well, then suddenly it dawned on me that we could be starting with Holgate and all of our favourite player Ashley Williams at centre back, and that's the way it was. We started with them 2 at centre back, obviously Martin at right back, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, well, I obviously being off Twitter at the moment hadn't seen those rumours, so I was driving to the match. Okay. Seeing Holgate. And I'd heard that Keane was doubtful, but Jagielka was, I thought, didn't realise he was injured. So seeing Holgate starting at centre back, and you think, all right, that's where we need to look at him now, because quite clearly, you know, Ronald Koeman's give him a go at right back, and then he took him away from that position, so he doesn't fancy him there kind of long run. So what's the natural progression for Mason Holgate is to be centre back. So yeah, I was quite happy to see him there and to see what he could bring, although I was thinking Jermaine Defoe.
I don't think Jermaine Defoe could play centre back for us.
No. Yeah, well, to be fair, he might have to.
Well, Bezit's kind of the same height.
Bezit, yeah.
No, but I think, I suppose, in a way, him having the baptism of fire, having to play there, sometimes that can be, it's not the worst thing in the world. If a player is thrown in, which we obviously we can talk about more with other players, and certainly there's one that stands out, but it's not always the worst thing in the world if a player has to play a game of football and you have to see how he reacts to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of the perfect things that can happen. It's like sink or swim, isn't it? But the only problem is that the form that Williams is in, you'd kind of hope that would be with someone who's a bit more stable, like Jagielka, where the experience could work, who's in a bit more form. But you know, he was injured, so couldn't happen, obviously. So, but yeah, I thought he did really well. I mean, like, he made a couple of mistakes, but he's young. It's the first time he's properly played there, and since a Europa League. Like,
a while.
Match. I think it was under Martinez. Did he play?
I can't remember the last time he played in a 2 as a centre back.
I don't think he has played in a 2 for us.
Has he not?
First team. I think he's been in a 3 quite a few times.
Was there not a Europa League match? Where
not off the top of my head, I think he's played in a 3 quite a few times at centre back, but I don't know whether he's played. I might be wrong, but I don't know whether he's played in a 2. But like you say, he done very well. He made
Europa League, would it? Because hadn't played before last season, has he, in the first team? Holgate.
He hadn't played in a 2. I'm saying it now. He's played in a 3. But like you say, I mean, I'm
losing brain cells by the second. So I honestly,
I think Ashley Williams, I thought, done okay Saturday as well. I mean, his form, you're right, his form has been, should we say, patchy to be.
He hasn't had a good start of the season, but I suppose from the other way round, Bournemouth's not a bad game to go into. If you're going to go up against someone, they're not the worst team to go up against. As much as Jermaine Defoe has been a good striker, he's getting older. You know, he's older than Ashley Williams, isn't he?
and
if I
was
Holgate, I'd actually probably want Ashley Williams next to me. They seem like a good mate. Seem like they, even though he probably could be his dad. They seem like they get on very well, and they have, you know, you always see them on like social media, like pictures of them together. So actually having that person next year, because I know we slag Ashley Williams off for this and that, but I bet you other players can love him. Because I bet you know, he's really constant, gives you what you get what you expect from him every week.
Ashley Williams is a good defender.
No, he is.
And when you can sit on the edge of your box, he's great because he's body in the way and he'll get head through it. The problem is when he has to play, when he's like, you're asking him to play with the ball or you're asking him to move up the pitch, he just hasn't got the legs to get in.
But if you're a young player,
you're a young lad with him, you can get him out. And the advice he was given, and they were talking, I thought he'd done alright. I thought he'd done okay. What did you think of Martinez starting at right back?
Let's move on.
No, were you surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised. Nothing surprised me. I'm not having a go with the manager, but nothing surprises me.
I was a bit disappointed just because I thought Kenny had done enough from the Sunderland game to we were the other goal.
But he hadn't done enough. He hadn't set 3 goals up, or
I suppose
or a rabbit from a hat, or.
But I suppose the other side of that is because Holgate was at centre back.
But we don't watch him train every day. How would we know? How would we know that? We don't watch him every day in training. How would we know?
There is that. Let's move on.
No, yeah. I mean, on the face of it, the team. You see the team on paper and you go. But I think that's half the problem at the moment. The way the team is set up on paper and the players we have, it looks better on paper than it does on grass.
Okay, I'm going to say it now. The biggest thing on Saturday was Tom Davies. That was the biggest. That was the thing. Kenny would have been lovely to see him there. Yeah, you know. But how the hell did Tom Davies not start that game? How he's at this moment, and for the second half of last season, he was our best midfield player. So how is he not getting in that starting lineup?
I don't know. That's Andrew.
Arrogance. That's the only thing I can think of.
So Tom Davies not arrogant, Tom. Now, what do you think? What do you think, Andy?
I think it's arrogance. I think the manager. I think he's you've said it before plenty of times. He's an easy drop, isn't he?
I suppose so.
But with the way that he played against Man United and showed that he's not an easy drop, and the way he played last season shows that he's not an easy drop. Just think that you've got to start bringing him in. He has to play all the time. He's young enough to play all the time, and he's hungry enough to play all the time, and he's also not scared. Like John Joe Kenny came on, he wasn't scared. What about going up and down the line, getting the ball, playing it out, looking forward?
I suppose the manager, to be fair to him, he has to look at all his players, doesn't he? And he has to look at how they will all develop over the season. And I think the likes of Kenny, the likes of Tom Davies, they need to be managed in a certain way, and we've seen that already. Tom Davies didn't have a well, some people say he didn't have a particularly brilliant start to the season, even though he didn't start the season. But when he played against City, he wasn't great. The game against Chelsea wasn't that good. But then you look at other players like Klaassen, and you think the manager's got a responsibility to all those players, but to all the games as well. And I suppose that's the way he looks at it. Like, Sandro didn't come off the bench in this game. That to me that's like the flip side, isn't it? Like, Sandro could have started and everyone could, well, what do you start? But he didn't even get on the pitch. And I think that's a big thing, because he didn't, but the reason he didn't get on the pitch is because he brought Nias on first, because he said he was more like a number 9. But he's looking also at Thursday as well, knowing that Nias is not going to be involved and Sandro will be involved. So I think at the moment, I think he is just going.
And I totally get that, and that's spot on.
Yeah.
And he was, and like I said off camera before, the subs I thought, and we'll talk about them a bit, he done well with that, and that kind of, like you just said about Sandro, it's good management because he's looked at it and gone, nah, he's not right for this. That's great, but just the Tom Davies thing for me, to get the performance on Wednesday against Sunderland, he ran the show. I don't care who he was against, he ran the show. He had a good game at United, like you said, Andrew, and that to me, he's a certain type of midfield play that we don't have. For a start, he passes the ball forward.
He does, yeah.
So that's straight away.
Mad.
And energy. And he kind of gets us playing our game. And so, to me at the minute, he can't be dropped. I don't think he can be dropped. I look at it and I go, yeah, Garner, drop him. Schneiderlin, maybe drop him. Klassen can be dropped. Even Sigurdsson can quite easily be dropped. People are talking about Rooney getting dropped. But Tom Davies is the one, for me, just at this moment in time, that I don't think we can drop, because it changes us as a football team. We're too pedestrian, but too slow, and we kind of seen that in the first half.
No, I agree. It's just, I just think that the manager, I think the fact that he got took off at United, but then he played the Sunderland game, and I think the Sunderland game was almost like, well, there you go. There's not there's your chance to show me, but there's 90 minutes for you. And we have got a lot of players, and you look where Davis is coming within a year. You know, he was nowhere near the first team this time last year, and now we're saying he should be undroppable. And I think
just for now.
No, I know. I agree. I'm just sort of playing devil's advocate. I just think the manager will be looking at it and thinking. He did sort of say he wanted to have the senior players play him out of this little sticky patch we were in. Now I think that's more oddly for the confidence for those players. Like, I think he looks at Tom Davies and goes, I don't need to give him any more confidence, but I need to give some of these players confidence. Now, that's hard for us to understand, because we're like, I give a fuck, I won't get this 3 points.
Well, after the Man United match, came out and did like a 5-minute press conference, didn't he? And about 3 minutes of it was him talking about player confidence, and that you need to get the confidence back, and they're just low on confidence and that. So it's probably right what you're saying. And
I think once you've been established as a Premier League player and all that, I suppose that all that early, I can't think of the right word, but you know, when a player comes in, we as fans, we give certain players an amount of time where they might make mistakes and we go, oh well, that's down to this and that's down to that, but then that soon lifts, and suddenly they become a professional footballer, and they're not a young player anymore, they're a professional footballer, and all those things go away. You're not potential, you are a player. And I think Tom Davies is still in that period where everyone forgives him pretty much for anything he does wrong, and he's got natural confidence where he hasn't become like a jaded footballer yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas, imagine trying to pick up like a 20, imagine trying to pick up Kevin Morales. That must be like the hardest thing in the world, mustn't it? Because he's like, well, I've been it, seen it, done it, and like, I don't get that. I haven't got that new player bounce. I've got to do this all myself. Whereas, and I suppose maybe that's what the manager's trying to find at the moment, trying to find those senior. But then, oddly enough,
trying to find Kevin Morales.
Yeah, probably
that could be it.
That apparently it's a new Netflix documentary. Yeah, 10-parter. Same people who did how to get away with murder, where it was called. He's doing that, finding Kevin Morales. It's gonna be brilliant.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I think he's wrapped up by aliens, and he put something else in his place.
Probed.
I think he's got a
Paul McCartney syndrome.
There'll be a metal incision somewhere under his hairline, and he'll take that out and he'll be back to normal, be able to run again, beat him on the shoot.
Do you think if you pulled on his face, it'd be like in V?
V.
Oh my god. Half our audience wouldn't get that reference, mate, which is really sad. Andrew didn't even get it, mate. Was it an 80s programme?
Well, it was back on a couple of years ago.
Did he bring something back?
Yeah, they were lizards. Price was in it, it was good.
He was like the dead camp one.
He was the camp one.
I seen him walking down Victoria Street last week. 3 o'clock in the morning, this suit. Worth more.
PP?
Yeah. Just amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's move on. But I was going to say, it's odd that he's trying to give confidence to players that are actually new signings. or trying to fit them in. I don't know, Klassen and let's talk about those 3 number 10s. This game, how narrow were we? We were like ridiculously narrow. It was at times it was just incredible how you can have essentially 17, 18 players all down the middle of the park.
The heat map from the first half.
Oh,
to put on the screen.
The middle of the pitch would have just been on fire.
It'd just be like a fire there, and the rest of it
would have just been a big line of just fire. It was just ridiculous, and that's at the moment. Is this a problem? Again, you mentioned the word arrogance before. Is this arrogance from the manager trying to fit Rooney, Klassen and Sigurdsson into the same team? Because I don't think he's doing any of those 3 players justice by playing them all at the same time. I think it takes something away from all of their games. And while you've got Klassen and while you've got Sigurdsson trying to find form in a new club and Rooney trying to find obviously something else because of what's gone in the last few weeks, I just think it doesn't do any help. And it would be better if you just said to the players, well, you're going to play today, you're playing on Thursday, you might have a slightly altered position today, but they're all playing within 10 feet of each other. I just don't think it does them any justice.
My issue is I wonder if they're all number 10s. I mean, Sigurdsson's obviously like a number 10 playmaker. I think Rooney's still at his best when he's a striker. And Klassen for Ajax played centre mid.
Yeah.
He only played the tackle mid on the number 10 in the whole, and really early on in his career. Then he got dropped back, and that was where he became a better player. So I just wonder if, like, is it that we're playing 3 number 10s, or is it that we're playing players that aren't number 10s
in number 10 positions? You've cracked the code, and just cracked the code.
Code's cracked.
There you go.
I've said about Sigurdsson, I don't. People tell me, well, you told me he was a number 10. I don't think he is a number 10.
I don't think I said he was a number 10.
He's not craft. You said he wants to play in the
I think he wants to play number 10. I think there's a difference.
Well,
and that's basically what...
He's the left side of midfield player.
Okay.
End of story to me. He's better when he's got a defined role, as we saw in the last 25 minutes when he went out to... and had to hold a position. He looked like a different player all of a sudden. He was involved in edge of the box, he was linking up, he was winning tackles. It's all about players. Players essentially are stupid. So you need to say to them, stand there and do that.
I would have said
best managers,
they're mouldable.
No, they're stupid. Got loads of money and loads of fit birds, but they're stupid. And I think that's why the clever ones stand out. That's why you'll get players like Rooney who are worlds apart from anyone else in terms of vision, and you'll see it. I'm just using Rooney because he's in our team, but there's players, if you go right down the Premier League, there's certain players you look and go, oh my God, look at the brain and play, he can pass the ball, because most of them are just what they are. And I think if, say, David Unsworth took over for like Thursday night or whatever, for argument's sake,
is that like, I can imagine Koeman doing that, lad. I'm taking Thursday off. I'm going to Portugal for a game of golf. Could you just step up and do my job for me?
But I think Unsworth will come in and it'd just be, you do that role, go and do that, you do that. When he was in charge for that Norwich game after management, everyone just come in. Koeman now on the way to golf course. He just come in and everyone just had the position to play, just play that position, don't do anything complicated. And I think football is quite like that when it's, you're there to do that job, you're there to do that job, you're there to do. And I think the problem for Everton is it's too fluid almost. It's too, let's be organic, you 3 go in there and do lovely little back heels and it'll all be brilliant.
Like Barca.
But it isn't.
Be like Iniesta and Xavi
and all, but
biscuits.
It isn't, is it? It's not, because it's breaking down. Wayne Rooney will do his best work in and around the penalty area. He won't do his best work on the edge of our box. Gylfi Sigurdsson will do his best work coming off the flank and cutting in, not standing in the middle giving wall passes to Schneiderlin. Davy Klassen's looking for a position to play in because he's trying to, like you've just said, he started off early as the 10 for Ajax, but he actually played as one of the 2 midfield players. Now I don't know whether he could play as 1 or 2 for us, but he might be able to if someone's sitting for him. We don't know. We're putting them all into this narrow space and go and do it. Teams are just going, we've got loads of space, I need the flanking. Tottenham cut us to shreds the other week because of our shape.
Yeah, that pass they did where they just basically diagonaled it through the middle. It was a Sanchez. Just got
and all the while, every time, right to left to Ben Davies.
It was along the floor, straight. They did it one to Ericsson, then Ericsson just turned around and passed out with a Trippier on the wing. And it, either they scored for it or it was the one where Sissoko
should have scored.
Yeah. And it's just too easy.
2-3 passes they're in our box because with the shape.
Yeah, but what you were saying there about like footballers needing to be constantly told stuff. Look at the best managers in the world. You've got like Mourinho, you got Pep Guardiola, Pochettino, stuff like that. All the best managers in the world. Zidane, they stand on the edge of the touchline and they're just like, get in there, you go there, you come here, you move like that.
Stalk the touchline.
Yeah, and you're just like, they're constantly telling the players what to do or what they see, or if they're out of position, getting them back into it and stuff. That Cool doesn't, just sits there. The only time I've ever seen him shouting something is against Man United when he was screaming at them to get out.
I just think you're right there, because I think what happens is when we're so narrow, I've seen it at loads on Saturday. We play a system where we didn't have in the first half any wide players in midfield, and that inadvertently means that when the opposition get the ball wide, our players have to go from in to out, and suddenly if a pass is played very quickly, essentially, then the midfield's just pulled apart because doesn't feel like there's any structure in there. Players are getting moved out. And if you just, like you were saying, if you just had a shape where players actually start on the left, we always go back to Pienaar, always, because him and Baines there was just magic, wasn't it? But Pienaar used to play out from in, and it worked all the time. But we have midfielders that play into out, and it doesn't work because they're forever having to go outside all the time, chase the ball outside, and good teams will use that effectively, I think, against us. They're going to keep moving the ball so that our players are just being dragged. I know it's not out of position, but it is out of position, isn't it? So our players are always going outside, but I think that plays into the two DMs. Like, that, do we need two DMs? Because effectively what we've been playing with recently is two players sitting in front of the back four that by the time the ball gets to them, it's almost too late. And this was a syndrome we used to find under Martinez with McCarthy and Barry. It was like by the time the ball got to that area where they were in, the damage had been done. The opposition had flooded that many players forward. And I think it was a little bit like that on Saturday, or it has been in some games, that were just, they're useless because they're just too deep, both of them. They're not, Garner's not doing his job of being all over the pitch. He's just been sitting in the same area of Snarden. And again, it's like the three, I think. You've got two players essentially trying to do the same job, getting in each other's way, meaning that neither of them can do their job effectively. So you've got five players in the middle of the park that none of them, I feel, are doing their job effectively well to the best of their ability, because there's five players in the space of 20 yards in a narrow area, and you're thinking all you need to do, you could take one of those, one out of the five out, leave four of them in, bring someone else in, and you can have a completely different look in midfield.
Also,
like Tom Davies, like we did second half. I think we look much better in a diamond, much better. Maybe either Snidland or Garner at the base of it, maybe Rooney or whoever at the tip of it. Snidland on the Sigurdsson on the left of it, maybe Davis on the right of it, or even in the central position. And suddenly you've got a lot more effective. You've got players that can hold their position slightly wide so that your fullbacks are more confident. You've got Kenny or even Martina playing right back. They know they can play a little 1-2, whatever that player is, and suddenly your shape's a lot more effective. I just think at the moment, playing the shape we have, it doesn't give us any room to go anywhere, because there's no room. Effectively, there's no room in there.
What was happening again? What always happened to Lukaku with Calvert-Lewin? We just isolated it. We had three defenders mark him as a kid. You know, and you're saying to Rooney and to Sigurdsson, try and get up and join in, and Klaas and try and join in, but by the time it's gone to him, they've muscled them out of it, or you commit and they just cut us open. And the amount of times, particularly in the first half, Snidland and Garner's passed it back for no. Snidland done the thing where he turned in like a circle, there was no one near him, like Bezic did.
The Bezic turn.
Yeah, and you're going back and you're going, where are you going? No one's even tracking you. Turn round and look up. And I don't know, he didn't do this last season, and I think it was because he had Ross Barkley coming to get the ball, going, give me the ball. So he just won it and went, you have it, rolled it off to Ross, and Ross carried it forward, and we were a better team for it. Now, Garner's not doing that. Garner isn't doing his job that we loved him for at the moment. And he's not doing the other thing. A couple of times he did try to fire that forward pass and get us going, but it was few and far between. Your midfielder shouldn't have 2 or 3 touches and a half. He should be on the ball.
To be fair, most of the times he did try to fire those passes, he misplaced it, and he just ended up coming back.
And we were in trouble. And that's the thing. And the other thing with Schneiderlin on Saturday is, well, he got booked for his first tackle, which, I mean, the referee was a gobshite, end of story. It was terrible from start to finish. But he booked Schneiderlin, so that was him out the game, really. So at half time, Koeman should have just gone, come and sit with me. Garner, go and sit in the hole, lad. And threw Tom Davies in there, and we could have played a different way. But it's just too pedestrian. And they started off the first 2 or 3 minutes, they had a lot of the ball, didn't they? They had good possession. But then we took over. We had the header by Calvert-Lewin off one of our best moves. We'd had another couple of things where Sigurdsson had flashed one over. Should have had 1, maybe 2 penalties. Definitely. But then, when we didn't get those decisions, everything just went back to tight. It was pass it back, slow the game down. Much to the fact that they were just looking, kind of going, are these going to come and have a go? Because they were very good and low on confidence. We had all the ball, but it's no good having all the ball if you don't do anything with it.
That's it, we just don't do anything with it. I think, going back to what Ped said about the shape, it just makes no sense. Say if you take half time, if he'd have took Schneiderlin off because he was booked, you drop Klassen back, let him play in midfield, and then you give yourself an actual shape then, don't you? You know what I mean? But we're too busy trying to play this stupid football that it's supposed to be a 4-3-3, and it's never a 4-3-3.
No, it's not.
4-5.
I just wonder. I wonder whether the manager. It's not about can he handle big personalities, but I don't think there's any big personalities in there to handle. To be honest, I just wonder if he can. I don't know. Can he see past his own nose? I suppose is the way. Look, he's brought these players in, and they're all his own players. Now is he scared to not have them playing? Yeah. Like, is he? Do you know what I mean? Like we talk about Tom Davies and we talk about John Joe Kenny and we talk about these kind of players, and you think they're not his players, and it's like, why are you trying to shoe in all? Why haven't you got the bollocks? Again, I'm just saying, has he or hasn't he? But why haven't you got the bollocks to just go, you're not playing, and I am playing them because they've been playing well recently. I suppose people will turn around and say, well, he has, because he has dropped Klassen and he has dropped Sanjo, but he's had no alternative to do that. I just think that sometimes, and maybe we'll see this more in the coming weeks, is that there are games where you just got to go, no, he deserves to play, this system isn't working, rip it up. I mean, if he breaks up Schneiderlin and Garner, I think that would be a massive step in the right direction. Not every game. There's games where Garner and Schneider have to play, but there's games when they don't have to play, and you just and it's funny because we put them in our starting 11, and I said that myself, that even though we're allowed to pick our own team, we're in the mindset that they have to play, and maybe it's up to him to get out that mindset.
But we also did say in pre-season that by October Garner wouldn't be in the team if Schneiderlin's playing well. It'd be Garner or Schneiderlin, because Tom Davies takes us forward. Your midfield players have to be able to take you up. There's no point going, we've almost got 6 defenders and the other 4 will sort the game out for you, because most of the Premier League teams have 8. If it's Man City, they have 8 attackers.
Yeah.
So you're coming, or 7 if they have an old midfielder like Barcelona used to have. That's Man City, and they're a team that's turning it up. Marino's got more of a spine, but he still has 6 attackers.
Well, look at Marino's just bought Matic to just basically be the midfield for him. The defence.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't need, like you just said, there'll be times when you want Garner and Schneiderlin and you think, we want to smother this. And if they're both at 8 out of 10s and they're playing well, fine. But I don't think either of them have started the season particularly well. And I don't think it does either of them any harm to go, you come and sit with me today and you'll watch, and you might have to go on with half an hour to replace the other one. Garner has never recovered the form that he had for 4 or 5 months last season before Schneiderlin got here. That was when we seen him at his very, very best, when he was pressing and winning the ball. And then he's had some decent games with Schneiderlin, because Schneiderlin was so good when he come in. till the end of the season. But the pair of them, for whatever reason, haven't hit the ground running so far this season. And like you said before, we're waiting for all of these players to hit form. It's not like 7 or 8 of them are and 3 just aren't doing it yet. There's very few that you say they're operating at probably their best level. Can you say that about anyone so far this season? Pickford's been great.
Pickford's been good.
You know, but other than that, I mean, we've seen Rooney have great flashes. He's dropped off the last couple of games. Don't think Sneijderlin has had a decent game. Garner the same. Klaassen hasn't done anything. Calvert-Lewin's getting better, to be fair, but I don't know.
And the irony is, they're making it very easy for him to say, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you turn around and drop Sneijderlin or Garner, no one would bat an eyelid. If you drop Sneijderlin, and everyone go, he needs that. He needs a couple of games out. No one would bat an eyelid. You just think, at times, Koeman just can't get out of his own way. And I just think if he did, people would just go, well, that was a good decision. That was a good decision to do that. That was a good decision. He's brilliant at rotating centre-backs and changing right-backs every 5 minutes. But you just think, now and again, have a bit of flexibility within your starting lineups. Not necessarily, listen, he's changed subs loads of times this season to do positive things. But there's got to be a point where you go, well, maybe if you'd started the game with, you know, I
think what he's trying to do is we've started unlike well, I don't know, maybe he did expect us to start like that, I don't know. And probably he's trying to play the players who he thinks will give him that 7 out of 10, as many as them. We're looking at it and going, we're picking holes in it, because that's basically what we're here to do, because we're not playing great, are we? So we're just giving our opinion, and it's easy for us because we're not the ones having to do it, but we're just looking at it and going, he's not really playing very well, though, and how's he playing, and why can't he see this? But I just think with the midfield, the makeup isn't right, and we're into the middle of September now, and we're still, you know.
What worries me more about, it's not the players who are playing, it's the system. Because if you get the system right, then you can play those players in the system. But it's the system that's wrong. So for me, it doesn't really matter who's playing in there, whether there's 3 number 10s and 2 hold midfield. It is the fact that we're like that. We don't have any width. And let's be honest, on Saturday, if we'd had any kind of width in that first half, because we started the game with Baines down the left providing the cross for Calvert-Lewin and Martina putting, so we did have width, and then it stopped. If we had people who generally wanted to get forward at every opportunity, who can get forward at every opportunity, let's say it like that, like other teams do, then I think we would have been comfortable, very comfortable on Saturday. But it's the fact that that system just means everyone, and the whole game, because the opposition just go, we'll just shut this down, we'll just bring it into the centre, and then I think second half they seen that and just went, well, we'll have a go here, we'll start from wide position like they scored the goal. It was poor from Holgate to jump in when he did, when all he needed to do was stay on his feet there and keep pushing him wide, and the lad would have had to do something very, very special to beat Pickford, but he didn't. He dived in, and that gave that lad 2 extra seconds to just go, well, I can just hit this whenever I want. Holgate's got to learn that. He's doing well up to then, but jumping in, that gave them that.
Still 40, it went through Williams' legs.
It was 40, but I think just for me, the defence they didn't shift, didn't move. The 2 defensive midfielders. We've got 2 defensive midfielders that aren't defending.
One of them should have been screening. One of them should have been.
And that's where I think the system doesn't work, because I just think when last season, like you just said, when it was Garner's job to just sit in front of that back 4 and mop everything up, you watched him in games and you were just like, this kid is unbelievable. Like amazing. You were using words like that. You go, this fella is.
I've never seen anything. Like
this fella's up there with
Kante.
He's everywhere on the pitch. And now you look at him and go, James McCarthy syndrome. But it's probably James McFadden did as well. James McCarthy syndrome used to do this job brilliantly, and then the next one you're just like, what does he do now? Now I don't feel that about Garner, but certainly from a year ago where I was like, fucking hell, this fella's unbelievable.
Every week when I was doing the ratings, he was 8, 9 every week.
Now I look at him, I'm just like,
I'm giving a man the match to someone else because it's getting boring.
But now I look at him and go, what's your job? What do you actually do? And you're thinking, but if he just sat in front of that back 4, he'd have been in there making more. He'd been there with Holgate, next to Holgate, making sure that Holgate knew where to. They would have doubled up on him, but you're right, he was nowhere near him. So, and I wouldn't necessarily think that's Sneijderlin's job. That is his job, but that's been taken away from him. And I just think if he was given that job back, going back to what you're saying about the intelligence of footballers, give them a job, tell them not to do, just to do that and nothing else, and they'll do it for you. How many times you see a poor player told to man mark someone and they man mark them out the game because they're just like, fucking hell, he's all rubbish. But then you give them
Rodwell got bought by fucking Man City for marking David Silva in a game we ended up getting beat 3-1 but he just marked them brilliantly for most of the game.
Yeah,
some players, I'm not saying
not
saying G Parkson was a terrible player, but how many times did Alex Ferguson say to him in big games, go on, do that job for me, and just stick to him and do it, and he did it and he was brilliant at it. And sometimes I think you just gotta simplify football for footballers, you know. And I think that's where we're going wrong, and I think you're right. The goal, Holgate is stupid for jumping in, but he's young, but he's the only one who's running with him, and really there, your right should be doubled up. And I mean that.
He took it well, Josh King.
It was a good goal.
Josh King, he did.
And really, you know, if it's not for a big save by Pickford, that should have put the game. But again,
that was us, our own making. Exactly. It was a pass to Rooney. Rooney plays a blind pass, touches it off. Garner commits, and they're in. And they're in again through the middle. And you know, it's a brilliant save by Pickford because he stayed up long. Yeah. You know, but Defoe's very
just before we talk about the subs, I did think Martin Atkinson helped in Everton getting back into this game.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Because he
just being shy.
Because the decision for when their player was down injured, when it wasn't a head injury, was absolutely
Josh King holding his back.
It was absolutely criminal when you think Rooney got elbowed in the face, was down, holding his head with blood cover, and the ref did not stop the match. No. And he stopped.
Schneidlin knocked it out.
He knocked Sigurdsson knocked it out. And Rooney's he was on the floor holding his head, and the ref did not stop the game. Whereas this lad's holding his back, and that got Goodison just fucking seething because he was terrible. The Schneidlin one was halfy, but you think for the first one. The Davis one, oh my god, Davis just slid, and the lad fell over him. 4 seconds he'd been on the pitch.
Nias was booking. Nias went from underneath him and he booked Nias. There, lad. That Francis, I'm not being funny, mate, that was a red card. So it was a penalty and a red card, and it wasn't even questionable. People have gone, oh no, the way it was a fucking jump like that, just because he straightened his arm out. Cut his head.
Do you know what? You've got to elbow somebody to cut their eye open like that.
It's ridiculous.
Just
absolutely ridiculous. And the push on Sigurdsson in the first, I know we made the most of it, but anywhere else on the pitch, the referee would have given a free kick.
No, he was in the back and stops him getting the ball because he's waiting for it to come down and controlling it or kick it.
You know, and you can tell because they go like that then.
He's criminally bad. I mean, alright, listen, you can't always see things in the split moments. Was it a penalty? Yes, it was a penalty. Can the ref get that wrong? Of course he can. But to not stop the game when someone's got a head injury is negligence. It's not bad refereeing. It's negligence.
Well, mate, how many tackles did they put in that were bookings? If you're judging by what we got, right? And the only player he booked was Stanislaus because he said something to his mate and he couldn't wait. He was like that. He couldn't get to his car quick enough. Don't say that to me, mate. And he ran over in that fucking voice.
How many times were we on the counter and one of them just fouled the player and just like
cynical.
To take one for the team and he just
FIFA tackle.
Isn't that a mandatory yellow? The pull, Sherpull's a mandatory yellow. Sigurdsson turned away, lad dragged his shirt, Sigurdsson struck them off, has a shot, and Atkinson's like, what?
Yeah.
There was a corner in the second half which was clearly had come off one of their players. Like everyone in the ground could see it, and you just. But that's what got Goodison going, I think.
But then again, Calvert-Lewin headed 2 out and he gave us throw-ins. And you're like, Calvert-Lewin just headed that out. Clearly. And there was a shove below me by, I think it was Garner. Just 2 hands in the lad's back and he just let play go and you're going, that was a foul to them. How can you not sit?
Let's talk about the subs.
And I got up this morning early and my first thought was that bastard on 130 grand a year.
Martin Atkinson.
Took that on, I think, on 24.
No, that was really your first thought this morning.
I just remembered it then. I just remembered it then.
So the subs, I mean, we're 1 down, obviously, and you know, the fans are starting to beg for blood, let's be honest. Makes the subs, which I think the subs should have come on before they scored, if we're going to be honest. Let's be proactive, not reactive.
The subs were great, though.
But the subs, you make the right subs. He brought Nias on and he brought Davies on. Now he didn't have to bring Nias on, even if he did score in the week. He didn't have to bring him on. He could have brought Nobody could have brought Sancho on. He could have gone safe for him. I brought Sandro, but he didn't. He brought Nias on, and that was good because I think he reacted to what you shouldn't always react to what the crowd wants. But I think he did. He gave the old thumbs, didn't he? The old Roman thumbs. He judged the mood of the crowd, and I think bringing Nias on was the right thing to do. But straight away, you've seen, 4 seconds. You've seen what Davies gives you.
Yeah.
Not 4 seconds booking. That's good.
Full-blooded.
Yeah. But he didn't touch the lad. The lad fell over him. But straight away, you've got Davies who wants to get forward, wants to drive forward, wants to pass forward. It's an actual thing. And the ass playing on the shoulder. And that we said it last week. We don't have centre forwards that want to get behind the opposition, and that terrifies centre backs because they don't want to go. They haven't got eyes in the back of their head. They don't want to go. Centre forward sits at the back and just goes, well, I'm going to run behind the two of you. Centre forwards hate that because centre forwards are slow. They're cumbersome. Centre backs are slow, cumbersome. They don't want to go in the area centre forward goes. That's why one plays in one position, one plays in another, and that's what he gives you. And suddenly, I think that helps you push 10 yards up the pitch. Yeah, exactly.
And what else he done, which was good, which was tactically good, was he almost went 4-4-2, pushed Davis over on the right, Sigurdsson came across, went out to the left, and Nias went and just played alongside Calvert-Lewin. And then we had that situation quite quickly where I think it's Baines knocks it down the line and Nias just goes sprinting after it with the lad.
Yeah.
Shrugs him off, gets it touch, and straight away the street end are up then, and now we've got someone who's running in behind and knocking people about. And the crowd have been, the last 2 games, the crowd have been brilliant with Nias.
Yeah.
And he's responded to it. And I thought he looked, on Saturday, I was just watching him thinking, yeah, that's exactly what we need. You are the striker we need at this moment in time because you're direct, you're a little bit unorthodox, and you're getting in the middle when crosses were going in. He was jumping, and they were looking at him probably thinking,
they were terrified.
Who is this? And yeah, his last Goodison appearance was against Bournemouth, wasn't it? A couple of years ago. And I thought, I thought he'd done really, really well, as Tom Davies did. He'd done well.
It kind of alludes back to what Ped said before, though, because when we changed to 4-4-2, we were then outside moving in.
Yeah.
And we had a shape.
Inside moving out. Yeah, we just had a formation.
We had a shape. And like I said, when we talk about Koeman's signs, I think we signed one average player, I'll say, and I think the rest of the players that he signed are all very good footballers. I believe that. I don't think he's made a bad signing this summer. I really don't. Even the Migliore is out on one player. In general, I think he's bought well. I think the squad is better, but we have got glaring holes, and it's like you said, unless he finds a way very quickly of just getting our shape right, if he can do that and play Tom Davies, I think we'll be sound. No, but just because he goes forward, well, and that's what we saw.
Well, I think when Tom Davies came on, you instantly saw Martin have so much space because he's playing out to in. Their fullback doesn't know where to go with him, and then suddenly that opens up the pitch. So you've got a decent number 10 in there, or 2 strikers. Suddenly that opens.
But they had to put someone on Tom Davies that they hadn't had to do. So the fullbacks think, "Come along, on."
And that's where Martinez started getting joy. Now I was screaming at that point for John Joe Kenny to come on because he's just better at getting forward than Martinez. Martinez gets forward, he puts in crosses, and ultimately they're just like little floaty things. The keeper will just pick them out the air. There's no craft in them for me. Or we don't have a centre forward that can utilise them. If I'm being nice, that's what I can say. If maybe we had the Giroud or a Duncan Ferguson in his day, they'd be in there and they'd be all over him, but we don't, so it's kind of pointless. Do you know what I mean? It's like putting wheels on a boat or something. Do you know what I mean? Ultimately, it's what's the point?
Actually, the duck that used to go round on the road.
What happened to that?
Yeah. Sank the day after that being on it.
Went on fire, sunk. Martin. And I just thought we needed something else then. And when he brought John, now people have said it was because of an injury. Now I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was tactical. Because people are saying Martin had
injured.
People said he had an injury. Now I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say the manager knew what he was doing, because that side suddenly opened up. And when John Joe Kenny came on, the relationship him and Davies have, suddenly it was wide open. And then we get the first goal by Tom Davies passing forward, and the second goal by John Joe pushing.
The first goal let's talk about it, because Nias goes and wins the ball back. You know, he has it, he breaks, he runs back, he gets back in a good position, he gets a foot in, off to Sigurdsson, gets popped off, he gets it back and lays it off and carries on his run. And the pass by Davis, it's just absolutely brilliant, because it's not on when you first look at it. It isn't on, and they just part for a second, and he fizzes it. If he underhits that, if he garners it, they just step out with the ball and he fizzes it in. But the first touch by Nias off his left foot onto his right foot is absolutely brilliant, and then he just leathers it past Begovic.
Well, the fact that it's been hit with that kind of pace allows it for him to open his body up to get the turn and smash it in, and it's a great finish. Brilliant but goal. The reaction to him scoring was brilliant as well. You know, he didn't go on over the top celebrate. He went and got the ball and went, come on, we've got 15 minutes now to win this game, and that
you almost felt Goodison turn at the moment that it didn't get the belief. Kind of was like, we can win this. For me, it was a double factor. It felt like before that, like people thinking we've got to score 2 and we can't even score 1. And Bournemouth, I think, were like, we're going to get a 1-0 win here. These can't score, and then they're like, oh, they've scored. Shit, they might go and get another one. So it was twofold. But you know, that was the positive thing. We kept going. Suddenly, people were like, well, hang on, we've got a threat. We've got 2 strikers on the pitch. We've got Davies who wants to push forward. We're controlling the midfield because we've suddenly got width. It's suddenly everything just fell into place, and you were like, actually, this team isn't that bad if you just tinker it a little bit. Suddenly, we haven't got all these players playing in the same position. Suddenly, we've got players just holding the position, like Sigurdsson, being dangerous without you know, playing in a central position. And then, as I say, Kenny moving down the right helped. He fired in that ball. Was it Calvert-Lewin? Davies, you know, it's positive. Davies is having it, just trying to get it in the box. And fair play to Nias. He keeps it alive. He jumps up. He makes himself physical. He got lucky because this first one was actually off his shoulder. But then he reacts to it. He doesn't just go. Doesn't do the old Roger Hunt. Just stick his arm in the air. You know, it's over the line. You know, he reacts to it and makes sure it goes in. Because if he hadn't done that, it wouldn't have been given as a goal. And we've seen with the Holgate one how close it can be to, you know, not going in but not going in. So, and that just the whole. I mean, Goodison just erupted because it was the right man at the right time to score the goal. And you know what? That goal could be just the little. We always say like the Kevin Brock moment to you. That's what you refer to. But just Nias getting it was the right man to score as well, because the fans want to see him do well. Because it's not like no one can go, this is all on Koeman, because we all wrote him off, of course. We can't sit here and rewrite history. We all wrote him off, but we all love to see a story where someone, you know, it's very much like Jesus, isn't he? You know, it's very much like he's been living in a cave for a weekend and come back to life. You'd know all about that, Baz, wouldn't you? I'm not Jesus.
No, but you know,
we've got Jesus.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It was probably Middle Eastern Jesus, you know.
Where's this going? I'm made up.
That's the Salt Lake City Jesus. You know, that's the Mormon Jesus. I thought it was over the line, to be fair, but that was the best thing about that was he reacts to Tom Davies' shot. He doesn't just have a look and say, where's that going? He's ready, following it in. Good instincts of a striker. And as he heads it or shoulders it and it comes out, he's the first one that reacts and puts it in the back of the net. Reflexes.
And that's what
what I'm saying,
like you said, he's got that instinct, and it might be that he's not the greatest footballer in the world, but if he's got that nice little habit of putting the ball in the back of the net, you can forgive everything else, you know. And it was great to see him, and like you say, Goodison erupted, and after that you thought we were gonna go on to get more, but great for him to come on and get 2 ones.
Yeah, as soon as we scored the second goal, they just collapsed, didn't they? Really, that was all they did. I think that one of the best things was the way the crowd reacted to it, because I think that there was so much pressure and just everyone was just waiting for something. The referee was atrocious. It was just building and building and building. It was on a knife edge, and then when Nias scored, everyone just went mental. And second goal winning, and people were diving over roads and all sorts. It was just like
good old fashioned limbs.
What I liked as well, needed that limbs moment though, haven't we?
What I liked as well though, I liked about the goal was all those young players who would have played some point last season with Nias with the under-23s. It was almost like when you see them, you see the likes of John Joe, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Holgate, Davies all together. It was like he was part. He was like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like he was part of them.
Yeah.
Like because he'd been part of the under-23s, and don't forget, the under-23s probably wouldn't have won the league last season, melting the ass. You know, he was a big part. He scored like 9 goals. He scored like a hat-trick. He scored like a hat-trick away at Man United. He was a big part of it, and they really appreciate it. It was like when they go to each other when one of them's done well. It was like he was part of that, and I thought that was a big moment because you can imagine the isolation he's felt in the last year. Like he's not part of the first team squad, but he's part of the 23s, but he's not part of the 23s because they're all young lads coming together. He probably wouldn't have socialised with them and that kind of thing. So I think that was a big moment to say you're part of this. And then you've seen a lot of the other players, and I think that's really positive because when you hear stories of him, when you seen him in his fucking suit, not in his suit and in a Toffee because he hasn't got a suit because he's been fitted for one. That straight away goes, he's a man almost on his own. You know, the locker things become a bit of a joke. But that Saturday, actually seeing him, he's in the first team squad, he's playing, he scored, but he hasn't even got a suit. It suddenly dawns on you how isolated he must have felt for a long time at Everton. So I think that's huge, and knowing that he's got the support of the players and the fans, that could be the thing. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, he's going to score 20 goals for this season. But if he's a threat, like we've been saying last few weeks, can come off the bench, can start games and just give someone else something to think about, then it's great.
I seen an interview with Tom Davies after Sunderland the other night talking about him, and he was, because obviously he had the assist with him, didn't he? And he said, I know him well, and you know we played together, and I'm close to him and all that. And you can see that on Saturday. Davies has set 3 of his goals up. You know when we come on, you know, 2 assists Saturday, 1 against Sunderland, and the ass has been the recipient of all of them. And that bodes well. Like you say, you seen Calvert-Lewin go over to him, and he was made up that he'd scored when he equalised, and Kenny was in there, and that's great for us as fans as well, to see those players, the young lads with the connections there. And you know, after that, we then see the move with Tom Davies, Joe Kenny.
I mean, a great goal.
But it was what we've talked about, Kenny. That first time layoff to Davies, off he goes on his bike. Great little ball back, great cross, and Calvert-Lewin probably should have made it 3-1.
We should have.
I thought it was quite good by the defender actually. He just can't. He's got like his leg at the weirdest angle ever, and he just manages to put him off a little bit. Yeah. But he should still be finishing.
No, he should be scoring.
Good move though, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. It was up there one of the best moves of the game. But best move that we've done in quite a few games, to be honest with you.
But I think
and you can't defend that.
But I think what was good about that is though, this is something we spoke about in the last few weeks. That's what we did in the second half when we changed the shape is we sat in their half. We haven't done that at all this season. We haven't sat in someone's half and dominated, and to the point where you knew it was coming. And I think having 2 centre forwards helps that because the defenders can't get out like we were at Old Trafford where we couldn't get out. So it was ultimately you knew what was going to happen. It helped build the play, and then you seen again Kenny get more and more confidence. He, you know, defensively he looked quite solid. I think he made one mistake where he kicked the ball out and went straight to one of their players, but he looked solid. And then he got up at someone on the same wavelength like he did on Wednesday night. And then we've got like 4 men in the box when he throws that ball in. I mean, and it's a great ball as well. Like, really, it should be a goal. But if he hasn't got, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin hasn't got the contact, then maybe the person behind him would have got the contact. Exactly. So you've got like 3 or 4 players who are all vying for a chance because they know, because they're all up there. It's not in isolation. We're not breaking slowly. We're camped in the half. I think that's what another thing. This shape.
I think we can do that even with the likes of Rooney on the pitch and don't kind of
play. It's shape. That's
all
it is.
Shape. And you've got someone that wants to burst past it. We've had Seamus Coleman this season. From the start of the season, they look different because he wants to get past and make things happen.
But even if that goes wrong there for Kenny and he loses the ball somehow, he's got the advantage that he knows that the person playing midfield doesn't have to trek 10 yards inside of midfield to get wide. He's starting wide. I don't understand why we play this system of out to in. It should be in. It should be out to in, not
into out.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
because it just gives those players too much room to cover. The Premier League's too fast. You've got
to be in the position.
You've got to be in the position pretty much within 5 or 10 yards. I mean, you can't be going over. You've got to go.
I just don't understand why teams don't have more than one striker on the pitch. The thing, you win football matches by scoring goals.
By doing it, didn't he?
You win football matches by scoring goals.
Yeah.
So why would you only have one specialist on the pitch? It doesn't make any sense. We put 2 strikers on the pitch, all of a sudden we had 4 and 5 players in the box. The most we've had at any time this season. It's normally 1 and 1 coming through, and that's it. You know, the best team in the land at the minute to watch are Manchester City, and they play Aguero and Jesus.
They've got about 8 strikers.
But they have Gabriel Jesus and they have Aguero with 2 out-and-out strikers. They're both in the team.
Yeah, but even the wingers are breaking the necks together. Like so at the weekend, you saw Sané just.
Yeah.
I just think for this team to be successful, it's not about. It is about personnel, but we've got a lot of good players in the squad. The personnel could be interchanged. It's about shape, and if we've got full backs breaking the necks to get forward, and again on the left hand side, Baines will get up more if he knows he's got a midfielder on his side who's going to cover his arse. He isn't that so far. If you've got Baines and he's looking forward, all he can see is grass. You know, he's getting forward. He wants when he's going. Where am I going to go with this ball? I can't carry it all the way. I need someone like Pina used to do, little 1-2, I'm away. And that's what Kenny was doing late on in this game. That's what it's all about. You've got to have partnerships, and I just think the shape just needs tinkering a little bit. But that's going to take bollocks from the manager to say one of the holding midfielders is going to have to be, because ultimately that's the thing. One of the holding midfielders is going to have to be dropped for some games when we're at home and we need to have a go. I mean, Thursday night, do we really need 2 holding midfielders? I mean, I don't know, I haven't watched this team, but surely he's going to look at it and go, well, if we start tonight with Diamond, and you've got, because if you have like if you had a Klassen on the right and Davies or whatever, then you've got that insurance anyway, haven't you, of someone who's going to get back for you in numbers. So
it's just a pity Nias is not going to be
there. Do you not think that Garner's been told to play a more advanced role anyway?
I think he has, but I just don't think he can.
Yeah, exactly. So his natural instinct is to like, I'm going to defend this, and then Snarden's kind of like, well, you've been told to go forward, because he tries to. And then, like, but he only gets to like the halfway line and bottles it.
Stop and say, that's what I'm saying. Tom Davies' natural instinct is to go on, where Garner's is, I want to protect, because that's what he's been doing for years. So he can't reinstate.
Klassen, perfect position for him, which who would actually do what he wants. What kind of wants Garner to do, because Garner can't bring the ball out from midfield.
No.
So, are we better without Rooney? But as discussed. Because we've just been talking about players, about Garner, right? Not saying to him be more attacking, but him just going back. Can you say to Rooney, if you played him up front, doesn't he always naturally want to drop in to a number 10 area?
But that's fine if you play him there. The problem what we have with Rooney is if the manager's going to continue to play him out wide, then potentially we are better without him. He's had his best game, the likes of Stoke at home when he was down the middle, he scored the winner, and then he just dropped into that hole in the second half, and he was unbelievable in that second half. His vision, his passing. City away had a good game from a central position. Man United away as the centre forward, holding it up for a good. He was good for 60. Well, in fact, he went off at 1-0. We got beat 4-0. So, but he had a good game down there. When he's not had such a good game is when he's been out wide and you're asking him to run up and down, because he hasn't got the legs to speed it up. He's still probably the best footballer we've got in the team or in the squad, with vision wise and ability. But I want to see him doing it in and around the penalty area, and I believe that. Like you talk about the diamond, if he's the tip of the diamond or if he's one of 2 strikers but he's quite central, he can drop in and take the ball. Because he's going to be playing with the goal in front of him. He's going to have Calvert-Lewin, or he's going to have Nias, or Sandro, whoever it may be. If he's one of those 2, I think he can do us a job. If we're asking him to be a wide striker, then he's going to have less impact on the game. That's my view.
Yeah, but if you're playing him as a wide striker, he's a wide striker that doesn't get into the box. Which is the problem. Again, it just comes back to shape. You're playing players in positions that they don't want to be playing in, but they're just doing it because.
Well, what's your opinion on Rooney?
I think he's a fantastic player, as you said. He's the best gifted player, technical gifted player, probably our best player. He came in and cemented that pretty quickly. Although a lot of people obviously argue about that, but I reckon he is. But pure football, he's our best player. He needs to, for me, he's a striker, but as you saw against Stoke, he can play in that 10 position. but he's got to be supported. He's got to have people to hit targets. He's got to have people behind him who support him.
You've just absolutely hit the nail on the head there. That's been the issue with Wayne Rooney in the last few games, is that when he's picked that ball up, this isn't having a go at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he's quite static, Dom.
Yeah.
He's better when he's the furthest forward and we break deep. He'll make the run and you can play him in. When it's in their half, his movement's not great. And I think if Rooney had been on the pitch with Nias, who was willing to make runs, I think Rooney would find him, as he did in that Stoke game with Sandro and McCalvert-Lewin.
I think half the problem with Rooney is that when the second half when he played against Stoke, I thought he was brilliant when he played just behind the front two. I think that's perfect for him. But when he plays as a striker, he will drop in. The problem is when he plays when he started as a number 10, then he ends up like he did, losing the ball against Bournemouth, where he ends up nearly an hour and a half. I think that's half the problem. You've got to start him high for him to allow him to drop. Yeah. But if you start him just a little bit less, then he'll drop even further. I think that's
he wants to get on the ball.
Because of course he does. He wants to be on the ball all the time. But that's the problem. He'll keep coming back and keep coming back. So the higher you can start him, then it gives him a little bit of room. But I certainly think if he was the tip of a diamond and he had and the ass or a Sandro type striker who wants to run around the back, and a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and has got people running wide of him as well, because I think, don't forget, that's a big option. He's got, like, that was the big thing for Ross when Ross was playing in that position, is how many times would Ross give the ball to Seamus Coleman? You'd have someone in front of him, and maybe the problem with Ross is he never had enough options in front of him that would open the game up. I think that was always the biggest problem with Ross, and I think if he gets in a better team with players with better movement, Ross will suddenly, people will go, fucking hell, didn't realise Ross Barkley was this good. But I think if Rooney's got someone going down the right, and he's got two centre forwards taking the centre halves, suddenly the game will just open up for Wayne Rooney. But at the moment, because he is a little bit slow, and everyone else is a bit slow, then he will get caught in possession more. Because he's also a bit like, I mean, we're old enough to remember Beardsley. Beardsley in his first year was unbelievable. He had a few good players around him on the same wavelength. Second season, fucking hell, it was just like he was playing these passes and people would look at him and go, what was that? And it was like, well, if you'd fucking run like good players do, then that would be a perfect ball. And then there's a touch of that. It's just about, again, it's about players playing in the right positions and finding the right positions for him. Don't get me wrong, I'm not someone who's going to sit here and we need to accommodate Rooney every single week.
No.
And I think, Saturday was perfect for him to come off with the injury and everything.
That was a good decision by the manager, though. It was kind of a brave decision because it was early. It was 50.
I thought the bravery was taken out of it by the fact that he had it.
Well, maybe, but he took him off.
Because he had to come off 3 times.
He took him off, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took him off, and then in the interview afterwards, he said, "Oh, I only took him off because he had head injury." So,
but that's the easy way out.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That takes the bravery away from it, doesn't it?
Him off, didn't he? I just think, to me, I want him doing his work in and around the penalty area, because I think if he stays there, he will get double figures for us quite comfortably. Yeah. If he stays out on the right, doing that, he will begin to look like we don't need him to play there because he's not doing enough. You see, with his vision, his passing.
If he's got players in front of him making runs, we've seen against Stoke second half, he'll find them with clever passes.
Yeah. And then he can be the one getting on the end of things then. Yeah. And he's played it, you know what I mean?
And if we're playing higher up the pitch as well, I think you'll see more of him like we did against City, where Calvert-Lewin was brilliant that night to holding on and holding and holding. And that gives him a little bit extra room to run into, because he's not fast, but that'll allow him to get into the game, whereas at the moment it's just going bam, bam, back and forth. So,
but there's a few of them look off it, don't they?
Yeah.
Sigurdsson looks like, you look at Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sigurdsson make a forward pass yet?
Not really.
A playmaker who plays backwards. But that isn't his game. But he's just, you look forward and there's no options. Got one striker up there on his own. He's surrounded by 4 defenders. There's nothing you can do. It has to go backwards.
Well, he's another one. Brilliant set piece taker, brilliant crosser of the ball, no centre forward.
Yeah.
But he's maybe got a little bit more intelligence, where it's like, well, no, I won't just throw a cross in the middle if there's no one in there. What's the point? It might make me look good because it's a good cross, and everyone will go, "Oh, why wasn't anyone in there?" But maybe he's got the brain to go, well, why would I do that? Just keep the ball. Maybe that's why he will go backwards. When we buy Giroud in January, it'll all be solved. Again, you put a centre forward in there, that's willing to run, then maybe things change, whether you like it or not. So,
well, that's what I was saying. We need to. I genuinely believe we need to start playing 2.
Yeah. We need to be braver. We need to be braver.
Needs to drop a defensive midfielder. and then play 2 up front.
Let's talk a little bit more about Niasse. Did he? I don't know. This is an outlandish thing to say. I'm doing a very TalkSport kind of thing. Did Niasse save Ronald Koeman's job, Mickey Quinn?
Mickey Quinn, you can fuck off.
Go on,
Ask me again.
Baz, did he save Ronald Koeman's job?
No, I don't think he saved his job. But what I think he done was eased a little bit of pressure on him. And I think that if we'd have got beat, and listen, the faux pops that one in for 2-0.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely to go 3-0 than 2-1 at that stage, because I think they were cutting us open. And then we lose that to Bournemouth, who, let's be honest, were pretty shabby.
Yeah.
The knives would have been out for him. He'd have been right under pressure, and rightly so, because he's had the money and he's had the thing. But we still do have to, I suppose, keep a little bit of perspective and go, it's a new season, it's new players, we've had a tough start, he's made mistakes, there's no question about it, he's made mistakes. You know, he probably he does deserve a bit longer, doesn't he? We weren't shit last year. If we'd have been shite last year, you could start going,
we were away from home,
we were away from home, mate, you get no argument there, we were dreadful. But I don't think he saved it, but what he's done, I think he's just eased a little bit of the pressure on him.
Yeah, I think we had 4 home games, we need to win every single one.
Yeah.
And he needs to start making brave decisions. He got away with it massively at the weekend, because before the substitutions we just looked like we didn't have a clue what was going on. We fall to bits after we can see the goal.
That's
the entire team just falls completely to bits. And it happens like we were decent the first half, and then we weren't creating much, but we were decent, kept the ball, kept them at bay, it was all good. Come back on, they scored a goal, and then for like 20 minutes after it, couldn't string 2 passes together, and they were just all over
This is what makes a mockery of him saying the senior players need to get us out of this, because it's actually the younger players who get us out of it, because they are brave, they don't have that issue, and most of them are Evertonians as well, which is a massive plus.
I mean, what do you think about, did he save his job?
I think there's saving his job, and there's saving his job in the eyes of some people, right, which is a big thing, because if people stop believing that he's the man, then it spreads like a cancer. Because, and this is why I think with the Martinez thing, we were very reluctant to jump on the back of him too early, because I'm not blowing any trumpets. It's alright, we're on Patreon, we're among friends. But if we're saying these things and people latch onto them, then it can be even worse, because sometimes people say you have a responsibility not to be mental, even though we don't, because have you met me? So I think it's important that you keep things in perspective. If people if we lost that game, loads of people would have gone saying, and it's another section of fans. It's a section of fans who would have lost. And then if we lose on Thursday night, then that's another section, and people will start buying into the idea. He's bought himself more time, not bought himself more time. He should have been sacked this week, and he's got. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that a lot of fans would have got on his back, would have gone, that's the end of it. I don't believe in this manager. He fucked up the money. But who the fuck's class, and what does Sandro do?
Where's our centre forward?
Where's our centre forward? Blah blah blah. You know, and then you're never winning them back, because he's not the man. He ain't the type of man who's winning anyone back. He doesn't seem that kind of fella to me. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not like,
he'd only win them back
by winning. He's not a warm fuzzy huggable man, is he? Let's be honest. He probably doesn't even like his kids.
Doesn't like it.
I'd imagine. Just so that's from that point of view. I think it did save the job in the eyes of some fans. And you want a United fan base. I mean, we all laugh at the other crowd, and flares and buses and punching phantom invisible people. Their manager. But at least he does pretty much unite their fan base, which is that's a better starting point. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can be critical of your manager, but you've got to be, you want to be behind them, because I think once the cracks appear, then it's very hard to stop them cracks, and ultimately it will, like, as I say, go back to the Martinez thing. Some people were like, months and months before, it needs to go, and then those people try and convince you through social media and stuff, and they try and tell you what the weaknesses are, and then gradually you might get onto those weaknesses. In the end, you'll go, yeah, he needs to go. And ultimately, sometimes those people are proven right. I just think that when it's positive, or when it's negative, everything's blown out of perspective. When it's positive, you've got to keep that feeling going. And listen, if he wins on Thursday and he wins Sunday, then loads of people will go, well, you know what, this isn't a bad start to the season. Actually, we'll go into the international week and everyone will be like, it's sad. We're through that tough spell. We've won games we needed to win. It wasn't pretty, but we've done it. But you imagine if he'd lost a couple of games in this run, which certainly could still happen, the daggers would be out. So I think that's the most important thing, that in a tough spell we try and stick together as much as possible. Loads of people will still want him out, listen, and it's not, I don't even think it's because they think he's a bad manager. It's just because of his demeanour, because we are not his ultimate goal. Like Klopp, look at Klopp and you just think Klopp probably wouldn't. Is there any inkling that Klopp wants to go and manage Barcelona, even though in the back of his mind he's like, fuck this, I'm not staying here.
I think he wants to go to Bayern Munich.
Exactly, but nothing comes off him saying that, does it?
No,
nothing. No. You don't. He's sitting there with his head to toe in
but
New Balance gear.
He'd never be asked that though, because of the media. He wouldn't.
But Koeman's never asked about Barcelona, really. Well, no, he is
every week last year.
But why is that?
Every week.
Why is that though? Because he built that up himself, that he wants to go to Barcelona, because he's basically said the only affinity I've got is for one club, Barcelona.
I don't know. I think it's just the way football is. Klopp all last week it was Klopp out all last week from a big section.
Not a big section.
Well,
this is why you're not on Twitter, mate.
No, I swear it. But that's the noisy section then. There was a lot. There was the radio,
why do they do it though?
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying to you, that's what football is now, isn't it? If Everton had got beat Saturday, the pressure was right on, and there would have been big noise going, Koeman's got to go, he's had money, no better. You see it now, people go, no better off than Martinez. The United game, that was worse than anything Martinez produced, and I'm like, did you watch Everton for 2 years under Martinez? They were shite, really badly shite. That performance at United or the one at Atlanta was bog standard for Martinez near the end.
Yeah.
It was bog standard.
It was expected.
Exactly. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these performances haven't been. Spurs wasn't good enough at home. Atlanta away was horrendous.
Atalanta was bad.
Atalanta, yeah, sorry. And United for an hour was alright, but the other half an hour either side wasn't very good. Saturday wasn't very good, but we won the game, and I think the biggest thing people have with them, right, or the biggest thing I've got with them at the moment, right, is that I don't want them to go. I want them to stay. But the biggest thing I've got with them is there's no pattern to what we're doing, and there's no shape. I believe in the players he's bought. I do. We've missed a big trick with the centre forward, and we've missed a big trick as far as I'm concerned with the centre back as well. We could have really nailed our colours to the mast here. The problem I've got with him is that just the way he's got the shape and some of the personnel, what he's using him, he's appearing like he's lost a little bit, and it's only September. But beat McPartland, Limassol Thursday night, you go, well, we just won 3 games on the run.
Well, I'll just very quickly, I just want to throw in one expression that I hear, and I hear it all the time, leaving the match on Saturday, or I've heard it before. Why doesn't he see what we see? Yeah. And I think if a manager can do that, and I said this in, get out the way of yourself. Simple as that.
He did early on though, didn't he? He appeared to.
But when he first came to us, we were like told we were getting this no nonsense manager. You play, your form dictates if you play, and I don't appease anybody in their egos and all this, that, and the other. And then he was just bringing subs on, like who was it? First game against? Not our first game, but we played. Was it West Brom? It wasn't working. He took McCarthy off. He brought Lukaku on. He pushed Delafeu out wide because it wasn't working. Yeah. And you're like, Martinez was the same first couple of games, really proactive, and then you're just like, why have you just fell into this rut where you just can only see what you see?
It is
and
weird.
You just don't take anything. Why aren't the assistant managers going, yeah, this just isn't working? This.
It is weird, isn't it?
It's like Alex Ferguson famously got rid of his assistant manager after 3 years because he wanted fresh eyes, fresh people to come in, tell him what was going on.
I think he just has a different way of doing things, as in like He's dead stubborn. You can tell he's stubborn. There's that arrogance, but you need that arrogance. But it's like the Davis thing last year. It was like Davis should have been in the team a month before, but he did put him in there in the end. And I think it's the thing with Kenny. Kenny will end up being our right back soon. I think. I'll hope. But it's almost like when everyone tells him to do something, he won't do it. But then he'll just wait a little bit, like till the pressure's off, like, and then go. Oh, I've just found this tremendous right back in our under-23s. He's brilliant. You've never heard of him, honest. His name's John Joe Kenny. Yeah, maybe with the Nias thing as well. It's almost like just wait till everyone stops talking and I'll bring him in. Like, I think there is like listen, it just feels a little bit like that. Like if I do this now, it'll look like I'm only doing it because everyone's telling me. And listen, we've all done that in our lives. Let's be honest. Like when you know you've got to like apologise for something, but you won't, and then later on you'll go, yeah, that's sorry about that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to admit you're wrong, and he just strikes me that kind of fella that ultimately he knows what he needs to do. He's just.
But doesn't he? He has the. I mean, certainly in England, he's had these shit runs.
Oh,
Southampton. Yeah, 3 years on the run.
What was last year?
Terrible. 2 years on the run. Us last year, 1 win in 10. You know, and the other day you're looking at him going, this run again, because we'd lost them 4 games on the run. 3 in the league, we were 1-0 down. He was scratching his head, and you're going, what's happening? But,
I think football managers
dictated them.
Well, I think football managers, they don't look at football like us. Of course they don't. I think they understand defeat as part of the game, where we don't. We're just like, no, we're never getting beat. But I think football managers understand that getting beat is part of football, and you just have to take it on the chin and then learn from it, and then come back to the next game, and they do take each game as it comes, sort of thing. So I think they understand that. It's just you can't get to the point where you're losing every game, and it's a long season. People forget that, you know. And I
think for us, we're desperate, aren't we, for us to do well.
Of course.
So every game we lose, we see it as a missed opportunity, because you start losing games and you go, look at how many that we can't finish higher now, but you know that's top 4 gone already, and it's only set, and everyone gets desperate, like get rid of him now, get someone else in and see if we can have a crack at it next year. Whereas if we'd have been semi-successful, I think the patience would be there a bit more. You'd kind of go, well, you know, all right, you know, give them time or whatever.
I think as well, the managers get in their head. Well, ultimately, they go, this way of playing with these players is going to be successful. You just wait, and then it's a fine line, isn't it? Because you got like Martinez will probably swear blind now that the way he was playing would have ultimately got a success. Mike Walker said that he was the one who turned the corner, and it was just Joe Royle who took it on. Yeah. And it's just like, well, if you'd give me that extra couple of games, I would have showed you and I would have done this. And managers will always be like that. They always believe in the stuff. They'll never say their way was wrong. It was just that they needed a couple of games, and I think that's the fine line. And I think Koeman would probably be like, well, listen, it'll happen. Look at last season. It happened. We got to that point and we turned the corner and we went on and had a great run. And he probably says the same about now. He's wrong.
I mean, he right.
There's no improvement. Game on game, it's the same exact crap happening over and over again. And it's like the definition of insanity.
I do think though he's only a couple of position changes. I mean, the shape has to change, but I think if he gets a couple of, like, if Seamus Coleman's playing right back, then I think things are a little bit different. And if Balassi's playing, there's things, and just for the pace, just for the pure pace of getting us up the pitch.
Let's be honest, Balassi's coming in as left wing back, isn't he?
He's been watching me on Pez. Yes.
He is, though, isn't he?
That's where he boss on Pez.
That's where he'll play. Because I think you look at Baines and go, if you play 3-5-2, you can give Baines a rest, and Balassi will run up and down there for you. And he's strong and he's fast. And then
I just worry that he might come back and he's lost the yard or two. ACL can do that.
I think he could probably lose a yard because he was fast. He could probably lose a yard and still be quicker than most of our team.
Well,
I just don't know when finds out they've actually put a robotic knee in him and he's actually part cybernetic.
Amazing if he is.
Dun Skynet. Let's Holgate. Let's talk about Holgate. We talked about him before, but is he? Do you think after that performance he's ready? Because we don't know how long Keane and Jagielka are going to be. And God forbid, there's a lot of wood in here. I'm just going to touch a lot of wood. That we get the situation where it's Jagielka and Ashley Williams playing centre back.
So what's the question?
Well, the question is he ready to play?
No, shite. No, of course he's ready to play. He's got to play.
Okay.
I think, like Andrew said before, you know, you probably learn more from that mistake and the other thing, because that gives you your manager, who is one of the world's best centre backs now, should be saying to him, right, you've made the prick of yourself jumping in there, you don't do that again, you stay on your feet, and he'll know. And you do learn from your mistakes. If he'd have got through that game comfortably and they wouldn't have had the kick, you go, oh, we done really well there, but would he have learned? He'd have probably come off and gone, yeah, I had a good game there, I'm quite happy with that. So he's got to learn, you know, where to play, where not to play, you know, to dive in, when to stay on your feet. You know, I suppose we can also look as a team and say, well, hang on, why is our centre-backs chasing the striker? Where the fuck's our defensive midfield player who should have been screening? Where is he? And it helps the team that way. And the only way he's going to learn this stuff is by playing games. You know, it's putting them in and pulling them out, not going to do him any favours. You know, ideally, he'd be in there with Michael Keane, really, for me. And because that then, if you had John Joe Kenny at right back and you had Mason Holgate, Michael Keane, all of a sudden that age in defence is basically just propped up by Bainesy, who can then just play as a left back if you put someone in front of him. It changes the whole shape of it. So I think Mason can play there, and I hope he gets a chance, and it looks as though he's going to get the next couple of games. My only fear will be the Burnley game, because they're two big, strong, powerful centre forwards who will knock him around a little bit, and we might have to say to Schneidling, you know, off goal kicks and off things, you like have to drop in here and pick up, you know, Ashley Barnes or, you know, the other kid who they've got, the big dog they've got up there, Sam Vokes as well, or Chris Wood. You know, they're all three big centre forwards, aren't they? And that's my only fear. But Mason, get him to Machies or get a couple of steaks down on the sun.
Yeah, he's slight, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's quick and
on the protein shakes.
Get on the protein shakes, but that's my only thing. Football wise and ability wise and pace wise, I think of course he can play there, and he's decent in the air. It's just, I think, just experience maybe.
Yeah, it's experience, and he needs to be allowed to make mistakes. And as a team, we need to be good enough to still get results while he makes mistakes, because he's young, he's growing, he needs the experience, and he's going to make mistakes at the weekend when diving in. He shouldn't have done it, but now he knows that he can't just go diving in or stuff like that. And there are going to be little things like that. All young players are going to do that. We're screaming out for John Joe Kenny to play. He's going to do the same. He's going to get add-on toast at some point, but he's going to have that done to him to learn.
It's a shame actually that I think the goal we conceded, he just needed to trust himself a little bit more there. Trust himself that he could keep up with the lad and push him wide, but he did. He obviously felt that he had to jump in, and it's good. And it's just a shame actually that he didn't score the goal, because at least that would have been, you know,
but I suppose the good way to look at it is he made the mistake, but we won the game. So you can come off and go, right, I haven't cost us the 3 points. We've still we come back from 1-0 down. We've won the game. John Stones was in. We put John Stones in. He made mistakes, but he had some great games in that first season. It was the years after that he turned into a dick.
Well, doesn't look too bad at the moment, but
no, he's got better, because again it's experience. But for me, he's still a defensive.
Well, you can't write young kids off straight. And I think the mad thing is him being in there and having that little bit extra pace might just allow Ashley Williams. You know, you can say, you know, Ashley push up a bit, because he can, if anything goes over the top, he'll catch it.
Well, that's what happened at the weekend, doesn't he? I noticed Ashley Williams, he started deep, just gradually kept on getting just a little bit forward, a little bit more forward. So, like, towards the end, where we were, like, nearly all in their half type thing.
And that allows you to play in their half. And that gives him confidence to think, well, I can sit there, and if it does go over the top, I've got this kid who'll run over the top for me and chase it. So, yeah, I thought he did alright in the lane.
One thing, that free kick they got near the end, you know, with Jordan Pickford with the punch on Gosling, was just brilliant, because he knew he was getting clattered basically, and he just got rid of it. Brilliant goalkeeper. Why didn't we just stick 2 men on the halfway line? I wanted to ask you about this, because
can't remember.
They had a free kick. It was the 93rd minute, so it's 5 yards or 7 yards inside our half, and we put every single player in that box.
Hang on. If it's the 95th minute and they're getting beat 2-1, they wouldn't have brought anyone back.
So they're gonna leave 2 lads on the halfway line without screening.
Well, you would though, wouldn't you?
No, they're not. I'm telling you now.
What? Hang on, if you're 2-1 down, why?
Yeah, last minute.
They don't. I'm telling you, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because it's just crazy. The Emis hits it and you clear it. It is. It is.
But
They will always go.
Yeah,
Mate,
if it's last minute and they're going to lose anyway.
you watch. Just watch.
If I was a manager,
If you
I'd
turn
think
into a massive shit house.
No, I'm telling you. You have. Go
No,
on.
hang on.
Hang on. It doesn't matter if you get beat 3.
No,
They would have to.
No, I'm looking at it from their perspective. If they're 2-1 down in the last minute of the game and they've got a free kick, if I was the attacking team and we needed a goal, I wouldn't be saying to Everton.
No.
Would you honestly, if you were getting beat 2-1 in the last minute, would you want? I'd tell the goalie to go up front. I'd have everyone. I would. What in the
That's
last
why
minute?
you're not on 6
Hang
million
on,
a year.
whoa, hang on, Baz.
Especially knowing
Hang on,
that you've
in the
got
last minute of a game, when you're getting
If you
beat.
stick one on, they will follow, because it's just the basics of the game.
But
He won't
why-
leave you on the halfway line.
But you've got the guy already taking the free kick who's already backed
10
up.
yards ahead.
In the last minute,
Everton
Baz.
stuck 2 up.
But like straight away, he could have took the free kick and then got into position.
Could have took it cleared. And
I'd have the goalie up
Yeah,
there.
I would have.
I'd have everyone.
Well, if Begovic is taking it, that's different.
I'd have no.
If
I'd have
Begovic is taking it because you're thinking, but he don't give a fuck because he's in our half as it starts.
Don't you ever call anyone negative ever again? Wow, what an admission.
I just think
Negative
he'd have a 2-man
Baz.
advantage as well.
I'm not negative.
Your middle name, Walter?
Neither one.
Baz and his whole back four.
Baz with it. Baz who just wants to play 2 strikers and 2 wide players. Negative. You're the one that likes 4-3-3, which is shite, which has ruined football. Barcelona.
Barcelona's your favourite, though.
They be, yeah.
Works in theory.
Doesn't work.
I want diamond midfield. That's what I want.
I want 2 up front.
Communism works in theory.
Well,
I just said communism works
Yeah,
in theory.
It does work.
Theory.
And we'll be sharing our profits with our overlords. Capitalism works in theory.
What else works
Ka-ching!
in theory? What else works in theory?
Nothing else. We are going. That's it. That's the end. Thank you very much for watching. Big thanks, and for coming in. Patreon viewer, you can be sitting there. You can be sitting there in that cannot be considered a retro shirt now.
What?
I'm just saying. It's a retro shirt.
Nike, Everton Nike, mate.
Yeah,
That's
Nike and the
what
good
we
with the good badge. Not
good
the
badge, yeah.
Fisher
Not the,
Price one.
Not the.
Thanks for watching. If you want to come in, just let us know. There is a comments thing on Patreon at the moment. Our Baz is set up. Give us a date. We'll try and put you in our back. Got a big thing on the wall, a big diary. It's massive. Very impressive, isn't that? Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you later.